If you encourage doubt and fear, you cannot process information to put on the paper. It is our biggest responsibility to get rid of this doubt and fear before entering into the exam hall. How you can do that? Simply by detoxing your mind. In this video, I'll talk about solitude, in which you are staying with your thoughts and identifying the sources of doubt and fear. In the second point, minimizing it, you will understand how you can minimize them simply by rejecting it. In third point, select, you will see how you can select emotional assets to be confident in the exam hall. Let's dive deep into it. Point number 1, solitude. See, solitude is nothing but staying with your thoughts alone. But here you have to be careful. You cannot have any external input while being with yourself. You have to cut off from the world and then be with your own thoughts alone. Then you will understand the sources of your doubt and fear. Well, this you will not do for many hours, but rather 1 or 2, just to understand where the negativity and where the doubts and fears are coming from and how they are showing up in your life. You just have to be with yourself alone for some time. If you want, then you can write it down. You will understand it better. Otherwise, just be with yourself. Start to think about exams. When you start to think about exams, you will develop a chain of thinking. And when you develop chain of thinking, you will create thoughts about exams. Now you will have 2 sorts of thoughts. 1, positive. 2, negative. You might say that I am not studied enough. And because of that, I lack confidence whether I will be succeeding or not. You might say, I always get stressed in the exam hall. Because of that, I am lacking confidence. You will see these thoughts are coming from your mind when you think about exams. Earlier you were not aware about these thoughts because you are not understanding your things, your mindset about the exam. First you have to own your mind, then you will own the thing. The biggest benefit of the solitude is you will get to know about your mental harms. Once you get to know about your mental harms, then you will get rid of them. You will own your mind and you will own the thing which you are looking for. In the beginning, the mind was empty. And then we got conditioning of our mind. Few people born with confidence, few people born with positivity, but many of them don't have that mindset. They keep growing themselves in negativity and they produce negative results. These people, they try a lot, they work a lot, they still don't get results. What I'm trying to say, if you are lacking the mindset, if you are thinking negatively, no matter how hard you studied, no matter how long you studied, no matter how intelligent you are, you will not succeed because first you have to own your mind, then you can own your thing. Once you are in the solitude, with your thoughts alone, thinking about exams, develop a chain of thinking, then you will understand what are your doubts, what are your fears, and what is your exact mindset with respect to exams. And if you understand that, your half work is completed. The great thing about awareness is once you become aware about your emotions, those emotions will lose grip on you. See, if you are angry and you are aware about your anger, then anger will lose its grips on you. You will become less angry. Because once you become aware about your emotions, whether it is doubt or fear or frustration, that particular emotion lose its power. But this is the half battle. Second point, minimize. Psychologists were long been arguing that do human beings have a free will? Do we have a will to choose? Yes, of course we have. We can choose our thoughts, we can choose our emotions, and we can choose the results. Whenever you are getting these negative things in your mind, you are feeling low, then you can simply say, I reject this particular emotion, I reject this particular thought. Simply by affirming your presence, rejecting particular thought or emotion does your work. You just have to minimize doubt and fears by simply rejecting it, by not allowing them to enter into your mind. Simply by rejecting it, you can do that. See, I'll talk about some neuroscience here, the power of rejecting negative thought. Neurons can't fly solo. They need other neurons to connect. Then they form neural connections and then they form neural circuits, network. So this applies to your thoughts. When you think a thought, that time you fire a neuron. And that neuron cannot fly solo. It will look for the neurons for connection. Then it will make connections, it will form a neural network. So when you think a negative thought, try it out. You cannot think one thought. The moment you think one thought, the second thought will be generated. Then the third, the fourth. When you think about a negative thought, you will develop a chain of negative thinking. When you develop a chain of negative thinking, that will remind you negative events from your life. Not just that, if you keep on this path, your brain will also anticipate future negative things. Which is why rejecting is important. If you are getting a negative thought and started developing negative chain of thinking, you are rejecting it. And this rejection will stop the flow of these negative thoughts. Just by saying I am rejecting this, you are stopping the flow of negative thoughts. You are breaking the chain of negative thinking. Then you are moving to positivity. Point number 3, select. In this point, you are selecting positive statements. You are reframing your thinking from negative to positive. As I mentioned, you cannot think one thought alone. You will develop a chain of thinking, and that chain of thinking will remind you events, and you will anticipate those events in future also. Which is why you have to choose positive. Earlier you said that I am not confident because I haven't studied enough, but now you are saying I have studied enough and I am confident. Simple statement. Earlier you were saying that I always get stressed in the exam hall, but now you are saying I can calm myself and be relaxed in the exam hall. Simple reframing of these statements have a great impact on your psychology, on your mind, on your mindset. As I mentioned, without a positive mindset, if you are studying really hard, doesn't matter. You're really intelligent, but mindset is wrong, you will not succeed. Simple reframing will help you to be confident in the exam hall. Because as I mentioned, once you think one positive thought, it will develop a chain of positive thinking. It will remind you positive events from the past. Also, it will anticipate positive future events. As I mentioned, neurons can't fly solo. Always look for the neurons for making connections, and then they create neural circuits. As you developed a habit of exercise, habit of reading, or habit of brushing your teeth, in the same way you have developed habits of thinking, habits of emotions that you can break. You can break negative habits by rejecting it and then starting building positive thinking habits by affirming positive statements always when you are feeling negative. Simple shift in the way you operate your mind can change your results drastically. You will see your mindset is shifting from negativity to positivity. You will see your mood is shifting from depression to exhilaration. You will see your direction is shifting from losing to winning. Simple framework. 1. Solitude, stay with your thoughts. 2. Minimize doubt and fears by simply rejecting it. And 3. Selecting positive assets to be confident in the exam hall. Well, thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel for becoming a leader in your life. Thank you very much.